on time or early or whatever it's called. Y'all can feel free to like tell your friends or whoever's out front if they want to come back. It is optional, but they don't have to. I will talk to myself. You know, I don't care. I like it. So, but I don't have to. You guys are here. Point being, you know, 4 people, whatever. How many of y'all are here for Levi? Ouch. How many of you here know Levi? Ouch. That's weird. I thought everyone would be here for Levi. No one's here. Ow. That's terrible. Ow. Grandfathers? Promotion. What? Okay. Well, I'm here partially for grandfathers. Levi's cool. I've never seen him. I've only heard one of his things before. Hey, Nick. Nick's doing poems later, too, but he's not a part of the show. I'm just wanting him to do it really bad because he's dope. I want to start, I don't know what y'all believe in. You don't have to believe in what I believe in. It is optional. But I believe in God, and I like to start, I've been trying to start lately with the fact that God is great. And I was saying that for a little bit, and it felt kind of dishonest because I was just kind of saying it and moving on. But then I started explaining the reason behind it, and it felt a lot better and more honest to me. And whether y'all, like I said, believe in it or not, God should come before everything. Without God, there is nothing. Without God, all that isn't anything at all. And I like to promote that because if it weren't for God, I would not be here. I would not be doing anything that I'm doing. If it weren't for God, I wouldn't exist, let alone the fact that I would be probably in a terrible, terrible place if somehow I did exist without Him. I like to open with that, as I said, because I believe in honesty, and I believe that there are pure things inside of us that exist that we drowned out with darkness and shallows. And that really irritates me because I found even the small little minuscule generic instances of finite small talk that we as people encounter on a day-to-day basis. Things like, hey, I like that shirt, or those are nice shoes, or beautiful earrings, for some reason seem to get miscommunicated, and we go around these bushes and through these hedges and mazes and fallacies when we speak to each other. And I don't know why, because there are such beautiful things inside of us that we want to communicate, and we don't. We just drown it out for what we think socially will get us to the places where we assume that we want to be in our lives. And I started to wonder one day how nice it would be if every once in a while someone walked up to you and said the truth, how people actually said what actually means something, and how we look at each other, because it was instilled inside of us a very long time ago. Like I said, we just push it to the bottom until it makes us feel comfortable, and then we never bring it back up again. But I started to wonder one day how nice it would be if every once in a while someone walked up to you and said things like, I like you as a person, and your finite flesh trembling on the inside, though you may be, as if we don't see that you're more afraid of scars than the people that actually leave them. How your arms are like doors with rusty hinges on them because they never quite open up all the way to let people in. How your fingers grow loose when you're trying to hold on to a handshake because you're too busy trying to hold on to our attention long enough for us to notice that it's hard for you to hold on to anything. How you walk as if no one would notice it if you tripped over your own tongue right now, the way your hair falls, the pertinence between your breathing and the last time you cried over something more than the ending of a movie. How your mouth does not seek water before you speak because you don't feel your words are alive anymore. How if I died right now and became casket trash, you would label it as an interesting day instead of changing your lives, even though you too know how easily good people die. How you look at us through dryness, how you break your eyeballs against the world trying so hard to see the beauty in it. How you stop and breathe as if someone said made you go just long enough for you to refine your attention span right before drifting off into a thought about how my lungs can carry so much debris and dust for me to cough up this trash with these symbols breathed back in it from the times I too may have cried over something more than the ending of a movie. I like you because you don't know the miracles you all are like turning air into gold, and I would cry over you too if that concept was not from the ending of a movie. You are made up of 93% of particles known as stardust, and you live under a sun that one day will heat and pressurize itself into a planet-sized diamond, and yet you do not try to touch it, and yet you act like you don't find home more in the mouth of the sky than the mouth of other people. I like you because you knew self-control and the way you hurt yourself to make sure others couldn't. You remind me of the beauty and a pedantic world. You are a rose petal on concrete, the wedding ring at the other end of a kiss for a kid you thought would have treated you right now 3 years and 8 months ago, and most of all, my highness, my liege, and to whom I am forever indebted for this presence. I like you because you don't know how to like yourself sometimes. I saw it in the way you stopped, as if you thought that this broken open hermit actually had something, anything at all to offer you. Thank you. Like I said, my name's Christian Welch. I've been doing spoken word poetry for a few years now. You don't have to love what I do, or you don't have to like it. You don't have to not love it, you don't have to not like it. It's all very optional. If for whatever reason you enjoy it or want to see or hear more, I do have like a Bandcamp and Facebook and all that crap. You don't have to like or share anything, but you can add, like, if you would like to see or hear more, they're good funnels for that stuff. And I have 2 different CDs of mine on me. They're all in stickers, they're all free and donation based. So if you don't want to give me money, take them. You can burn copies of them, pass them out, feed homeless people with them, whatever you want to do. Don't make them eat the disc. It's a good plate if you cover the hole up with like a napkin or something, in my mind. I also now have copies of my friend Chris Bernstorff, who's from Virginia, who is insanely dope. He started doing spoken word at hardcore metal shows because he loves it, and he does really dope things. At minimum, watch his live videos of him doing stuff live, because I don't know, he's just dope. His stuff is free. Do not pay me for his stuff, but I have his information cards too. You can contact him and send him money. He's currently on tour right now. I believe he wants poetry and words and God to be his life. So, you know, I would like him to not starve. So if y'all want, you can contact him and like PayPal him money or whatever. However, I've heard of Bitcoin recently. I don't know what that is, but maybe you can Bitcoin him things, or on Sims or online, or however that works. I don't freaking know. I don't know why I made that joke. It wasn't funny. Another thing with honesty that gets me, I don't know why, but it seems to me personally, in my experience, that it's easier to say I love you at 3 a.m. than it is at 12 in the afternoon to people. When you're in an accident and your car is in a ditch, or someone left you, or something, you know, some other bullcrap happened in your life that makes you feel like you need to start counting what's actually worthy of keeping around. I started to wonder, I understand oftentimes the last thing we want to hear at 3 a.m. in the morning is honesty. But if you let me be honest with you, I'll let you open up to me. Your car is gone, or your girlfriend is again, or you didn't have enough money for alcohol. Maybe you had too much. Maybe a guy passed you like a secret through his hands, and that's why you were so quiet. When you shake up every night, your body jammed like a magazine, trying to manage PTSD. We've seen it slip through you. Post-mortem spark shower can't clean off shrapnel when it's dug this deep, or you keep seeing dead relatives. You delve into self-prophetic cannibalization, whatever is eating away at you. Listen and let it click into the spindles, turning darkness throughout the vessels of your hearts, your bodies. Maybe cities in ruins, but it is never too late to start rebuilding them. Stop hanging from your own halos, a train of highways wrapped around your collarbones and back. Have you ever seen a palace made out of glass gears rise out of red dust? I can see one shatter in the liquid of your eyes every time someone respects you enough to look into them. They are so beautiful, but you would not know that because you've not looked into your own mirror for months. Your skin is a cabin. you feverishly scrub dust and you become a pale person full of ghosts, full of midnight things, and you allow yourself to believe that you can see better with your hands, covering your eyes. I understand that in a world so polluted, it's hard to feel at home because we can never look up at night and faded photographs of who we used to be, but your body is a gunshot. The guy got caught pulling the trigger on himself. He held out a hand to catch the thought, shook off with blood splatter on what was stuck with. As a matter of factly, you are not of any man's creation, so break the highways out of your halos and do not let any construct of him be the death of you. I understand when we open those 8th grade note passes that they never checked yes, but one day ticker tape love poems will fall from the sky through the honey of our lips, and someone will kiss you as your heart drops into the zero of your stomach turning over inside of itself. You are only you, so stop using the excuse that you weren't yourself, because you can only be what you are. It is impossible to be what you're not. You cannot not be. You can one day be what you're not now, but when that day comes to be what you're going to being that will mean being what you are. It is a matter of present tense being presented with all of time's density, so be drenched in the light soaked from the wound of much you are you. I'm not married. I do not like people. I deal with anxiety. I see the full scope of the dirt everyone's lungs are rot through. As I've turned my back on myself, not looked into my mirrors and did disgusting things. Disgusting things to people who let me love them, both like a slow dance and a mosh pit. I woke up to demons once, but I hope you all hear this static collapsing against your shaken bones. I just want to tell you my body. I want to tell you that this is what a temple looks like. Place your hands onto your chests and say, this is what a temple feels like when at home and most lonely. Place your hand where your heart pushes hardly through to the surface and listen. This is a song I let people hold in their mouths. Hold your hands out in front of you. These, I promise, are a way to make beautiful things out of what you touch. High comprehensibility of the world around you is a spark. Your mind, a lantern you hang inside of your body. My ex-fiance smiles. I have a heart that is true to me, and I to it. I'm honest to everything, including myself. My eyes are oceans. I'm blessed with the gift of the words that flourish inside of me. There is at least one person who will come to me on an interstate at midnight and try to push my car out of a ditch. I woke up today, and I know God. These are some of the most beautiful things I know. All right, I'm going to do one more. Is that fine? All right, I'm going to do one more. Thank y'all. If y'all happen to want to, I believe I'm going up after Thieving Hand. They're dope. Watch them. PAs are loud. Earplugs or something. But watch them. And then I believe I'm going up again. I would really love it if, y'all happen to be here again for that. If not, it's cool. Whatever. I know there's food and other people here to preoccupy you. That came off rude. I apologize. But, I understand things occur. People don't always like me, or some, I don't know if they do or don't. But point being, and then Levi, Glow House, Lowercase Noises. I've never seen either of them live. I've heard wonderful things about Levi. So if y'all, for some reason, didn't come for him and you came for Grandfathers, which is dope too. I haven't seen them live before. I've heard good things from the guys in Grandfathers. He'll probably be insanely dope along, I'm assuming, since he associated with the two people that he's touring with, they'll probably be dope inherently. Talked a lot. Again, y'all don't have to believe in what I believe in. I believe in Jesus Christ wholeheartedly. If you're here and you don't have any faith in that stuff, you don't believe in a God, you don't believe in Jesus Christ, or you don't believe in anything higher than yourself, which is weird because you're here to hear music, so you have to believe in at least something higher than you if you're here to enjoy music. But I'll let, however you want to look at it. If you don't have any faith at all, if you're here and you have the most faith out of anyone I've ever met, if you're here and you believe in Jesus Christ but you're struggling with things, if you believe in some form of God but you're struggling with things, one thing I believe it's very important for people to know, that regardless of what gets pumped into you by this world and the things in it, no matter what families or friends or people at music venues say to you, faith is not an ignorant concept, and I would love to talk to every one of you about my ideologies on anything. Y'all can approach me at any point and argue with me, tell me you think I'm wrong, tell me you love me, tell me, you know, whatever you want. I would love to talk about it, but faith, it is one of the most intellectual concepts that you can associate yourself with. This is about someone who held faith even into the darkness, and proved how beautiful it is. This poet by the name of Buddy Wakefield has a line in one of his poems that goes, "There are people holding out for light. There are people who did not know what they were holding out for." Earth is made up of mostly water. Earth is made up of mostly us. We are oceans. And the way we breathe, like deep sea whale orchestras, when you listen to the crack of bodies clashing, or just hide them in the caverns too deep to see from the surface of our skin. See, we have the power to beat shorelines into submission like gazes and make people take down their sandcastles, or at least open the drawbridge. Please don't let it drop. We might break too easily like the sand in between our toes when we walk ourselves to try and find the answers, they say. If you hold conch shells to your ears, you can hear us breathing, but if you break boats against us, you can hear us crying. But if you break us, really break us down on the inside, you can watch us sink. Why do you think they call people with water forcing from their eyes rock bottom? We are forces, but brittle nonetheless, because we are also children. We get dark sometimes beneath the surface. If you dig deep enough, you won't be able to see the light anymore. People out there know how easily we break against rocks. That's why they make their veins rot with the lighthouse bases. The reflections of razors holding out for light is hard when Earth is made up of mostly us and are all trying to grab some. Some of us, we wash up to catch air. Stephen Oliva, he was a 16-year-old that went to my church. They used chemotherapy to pump the sun down into his depths, in between the coral, pumping and breaking against the ships and plateaus of jutting ribs, and that skin that got so pale sometimes his waters look green like islands, and that heart that nearly beats a storm, making his skin shift as a pitch blackness. It sounds like God being a good one. He is a good one. When you listen to the conchos, there are caverns holding out for light, like a kid holding out for life. But if his heart washed in tides, will you still be there for him? Because most never care until it affects them, but we all float in the same oceans. Open your shorelines, people. Let down your rocks and let the water wash up under your feet every once in a while. There are some of us that would give tsunamis of ourselves just to feel the touch of a person again. They were people. We still are people who do not know what we're holding out for, like an ocean and its calmest. Like the day Stephen Oliva passed away. Thank you. So be here for that. Again, I'll be doing stuff throughout the night if you want. Probably won't talk rant aimlessly as much as that, if that irritated you, because I get kind of weird about my aimless thoughts doing it. All right. Chris Burns sort of told me something about Levi and his performances, and I had no idea what to expect. But Chris Burns sort of did not lie. Anyways, my name's Christian Welch. Stay for Grandfather. It's their first show. I'm assuming most of y'all know them, or Corey, or someone. I know Corey. I kind of know the others. What's up, dude? But what's up, man? What's up, bro? Anyways, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
I'm gonna get like some like.
Alright.
You never even came. You never called. You forgot about me. How could you forget me?
I didn't forget you. I would never forget you.
I hate you.
Can you not be mad at me for 1 second, because I want to tell you one.
I apologize. Merch people! Okay. I apologize. These people are still talking. I want to ensure I'm not being rude. If you guys, like, it is like, I want you guys to be comfortable. So if y'all want, I can hold on, or I'll go if y'all are fine with that.
Do it, bro.
I don't
Go for it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. Just do it.
Sure, bro. Thank you. I apologize for being all stingy or something, but Yeah, I just want everyone to respect each other, and if y'all want to do things, please do them. Tell me to turn it down if you're talking to the merch or Levi or whatever. But I'm gonna do a couple pieces. I pray it.
See what you do? You never even came. You never called. You forgot about me. How could you forget me?
I didn't forget you. I would never forget you.
I hate you.
Can you not be mad at me for 1 second because I want to tell you one thing, okay? Okay, because last night I was writing you a letter, and then the words were kind of too big, okay? Because you said, Poppy has a cold, and I said, dear Lucy, I'm sorry, I maybe hurt your feelings, and I was thinking about you all the time, and I was at Lucy on a hammock, and Lucy at school, and Lucy in the sky, and kisses and hugs daddy. And P.S. I love you like the song. P.S. I love you like in the song.
I don't know what anyone here goes through. But if along with God and Jesus Christ, thirdly, something that I would want anyone to ever leave from any conversation with me, or hearing my poetry live, or on a CD, or a recording online, or anything of that nature, or just seeing me. I pray I can get to the point where I can just exist and people see it in me. But I would love it if every single one of you walked away tonight with the knowledge that love is stronger than every single one of you will ever have the ability to be. Whether you believe it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, we get very comfortable with people in our lives, and we get very complacent and look at things as sort of, oh, it is the way it is, and just let the world function at our conveniences, which I started having an issue with myself doing. When you're in a ditch, staring at a friend as he's trying to push your car out of it, telling him it's not going to work, and he's still trying to help you, and then you realize that you denied this person even a small little word of friend in your mind when people ask you if you have any, because you're just attempting to be some form of extremist thought of what you feel an intellectual is. You start to feel like a real jerk. And when you look around the people in your life, and even as you're living with some of them, and realizing that you are putting absolutely no effort into the relationships, absolutely no effort. I don't know what any of y'all have been through, what anyone has done to you, but if you hold spite against someone, get rid of it. And spite and anger will only count bodies, but compassion and love will count souls. And the earth takes bodies in and then it wants more because they decay, and it will never get enough. But souls hold weight, and souls will go for a lot longer than our flesh does. At one point in our lives, we're either one person or the other. You're either someone making phone calls at 3 a.m. or you're the person answering them. To the person who's answering those phone calls, I pray that you never stop. It can seem like it's not working and it's not going anywhere, but I can promise you it is. One day we are going to wake up and the weight of our decisions are going to hit us. If you're the person making the phone calls, understand who's on the other end. Understand who is answering them and speaking with you and listening to you, because one day you're going to realize that you should have held on to those people a lot harder than you did, and you're going to realize that all the things that you thought you were doing correctly were completely wrong. Appreciate them and love them, because standing by while the bridges burn and actually lighting the match that burns them is the exact same thing, whether you believe it or not. I want every one of you to know that no matter what, there is a God that loves you. Whether you believe this or not, I love you. Any of you can speak to me. You can get my phone number. If you don't want to talk to me personally, it is written on a thing next to the CDs and crap. you can stand around your whole life in your arrogance and say if they want me to come in, if I should come in, then they'll open the door, but you don't know that the other person is on the other side of the door going, if they should come in, if they want to come in, they'll knock, and nobody ends up doing anything to keep a hold of the relationships that we keep with each other. And then we get into these stagnancies, and then we fall into this darkness that just keeps swallowing itself, and nothing gets unbroken, and nothing changes. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we haven't exactly gotten to a good place because of that. If you've looked around at your lives recently, or maybe you have and your life is great, I don't know, but odds are there's probably a lot of things that we could start doing to ensure that humanity and love does not die inside of us, because it is definitely getting fed to us. We just have to actually allow ourselves to be open to it. It's a lot bigger than you. It is so much bigger than all of us. My grandmother faked a heart attack as a joke. 6th grade was my earliest memory of wonderment about God. I knew inside that my morals could be in a better place, that I could and should be a better person. I don't know if my standards of school bus could be considered a church, but it was the first time I felt a want to communicate with God. Me and my mother don't talk much. Not out of dislike, we just don't. And so there are ghosts, and so there are beings in other places like my mirror, which I finally began to look into again. And so I hope every poem to be a hymn hanging like the wrists of us as we all are fish trying to shoot ourselves inside of the barrel of hope, that I might hear something that'll bring me to where I need to be, because if I can live with myself, then surely I can live with them. And when beds are made of pools and our bar pass and we finally sleep sound, I hope I won't have wasted away any final moments. Will there be anyone left in the end? When I was a kid, my grandmother faked a heart attack as a joke, and I freaked out. A few years ago, my great uncle found her on our couch at the hospital, diagnosed her with diabetes, and said that had it been in another 10 minutes she would have died. I've never been so calm in my life. My grandmother's always been an angry person, but now when she yells, I can tell how it must be out of fear. When she speaks of me leaving, I can feel how it must wrench like pipes, trying to sound too big for their bodies, like a church organ built for heaven, but by someone who does not know its distance. I'm still not sure if a school bus can be considered a church, but my truck is a sanctuary on late nights when the Jersey barriers on the side of the highway are promises that I want to make to myself when I want an intersection to wrap around my body. I am wondering why I think about thinking about these things as life or a universe of eyes already dead but pulling themselves apart, trying to find the good things. I do see the good things. My mother is not a ghost story I cringe at over fires or flashlights. My mother is incredible, and yet I know when a stone is to be still over my head, when my breath leaves me out of distrust of my will, the one thing that I will feel disdain over is the fact that I did not put in the effort to spend more time with her. Will the circle bend, bro? Get by and by, by and by is a better home waiting. God in the sky, in the sky. One by one, family leaves. One by one, the chairs are empty. With a circle being broken. By and by. By and by. is a better home waiting in the sky. God in the sky. Alright, that was freaking weird. I've never done that without that song behind it, so I have one more if y'all are cool with that.
The big picture. Guess the Beatles. What about this? Look, other bands, they want to make it about sex or pain, but the Beatles, they had it all figured out, okay? I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's the first single. It's been brilliant, right?
When my fingertips become the steeping cliffs of waterfalls, the palm side of my hand so intricately built like a sideways city sinking, the drops of water on my hand look like time-lapsed traffic, and everything is paused, spinning around me like proof of a pink rabbit that I am trying to find. It is not fluffy, it is stone, and it's silence, and it is silence that comes here when I think I hear you. My heart, a vintage record player waiting on your vinyl linings to linger. You soft singing daughter of such a wonderful producer. You keep notes folded into your arms for the days when you and music are the only two things that can hold you and tell you that it is still okay to feel like this. It is still okay to believe that you can feel something in the future. The future is that part of the song we are so anxiously awaiting. You made sense to me. So a proposal that I will be so vaguely forward about. Maybe I do not need to find Fluffy tonight because I found you. You and I, the pieces missing in the world. Maybe your heartbeat to be a song that changed my life. Maybe your lips, a dance tonight held in the arresting hands of a trophy guitar top a rooftop, a sound booth left to capture no less than the sound you produced. You are beautiful with the recording light on. You are beautiful when you are, and nothing less than the noises we make. I say one night ride of restless legs in a sleepless city. One night when the playlist is a man deciding to get sober. This place is a liquor store he is standing, and when he makes this decision, you are a decision I will somehow make. I just do not know how to play your song yet. You said it is already here, but my dear, I fear to fall in love with you. Your soundtrack is so sweet. What happens when the songs stop? What happens when liquor is all that there is left to drink? I do not believe in drinking alcohol, just like I do not believe in listening to bad music. You are Songbird, you are Nora and Infinite, and all of your finite things plentifully pinned to the kind of types that I find wonderful when in time's teachings of finding these that mean something to me, nor a story any less than blind bit of bright unsung but touched along still with the strumming of my own breathlessness. A couch we found in plain sight, our eyes to catch the sounds of our fingers when playing sign. I will sketch things into your arms. I will sketch the lyrics to my favorite songs onto the side of your neck. We will find them later and feel blessed by something so much bigger than us. I remember when my fingers were innocent. You make my fingers feel innocent, not like when they are the hardened clouds of downpours. The music turns my anxiety down. You seem to do the same thing, so maybe cheesy behind. I think we leave this joke. I feel like we can be ear buddies, huddled together with the honest parts of ourselves, aware of the fact that we are aware of the minuscule space that the electrons force between our bodies, acting like we're trying not to settle into each other. One of us telling the other to wait because the part is coming up, smiles on our faces, not looking to each other but still understanding the stillness, waiting for the hook to catch us, catching each other, catching the other's eyes. Oftentimes as people, we try to hide things and find things hidden in the corners of people and corners, and we try to fill the emptiness with more emptiness, and the issue is stacking hollow things inside of each other as you begin to get these honeycomb shaped holes in your heart, and you become a busy bee constantly working to scrape sludge out of the crevices of your life. At the end of the movie, Nick and Nora's Infinite playlist, after finding the band they tried all night to find and leaving before hearing them play, Nora stops and asks Nick, "Are you sad that we missed it?" And he looks at her and goes, "We didn't miss it. This is it. Understand the people and the moments and the things that are actually going to hold weight, because I can assure you we're all going to wake up, and if anyone ever interviews us for one of these weird questionnaires on our deathbed about what we wish we would have done with our lives, we're going to say the things that we knew we should have done but we ignored anyways. Love and friends and the moments that actually hold weight, not the finite shallows that you drowned in, not all the short fulfilled moments, but the things that you're going to look back and realize how worth it was. All the things that God blessed you with, it's going to matter. I promise you need to fight for them and hold on as hard as you can. Thank you.